If you weren't doing what you were doing now, what would you do, like job-wise?
So if I wasn't a principal, what would I do instead? I think that I would probably be like to work in an emergency room, an emergency ER doctor. That's I think what I was going to do before I decided that I wanted to go into education instead.
What's your favorite memory?
Ever? My favorite memory ever?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to think about that one and come back to it.
Okay.
Okay.
What's one of your hidden talents?
One of my hidden talents is that I actually enjoy playing the piano. I'm not sure that I'm amazing at playing the piano, but I really enjoy sitting down and playing it whenever I have the opportunity.
What accomplishments have filled you with pride this year?
What accomplishments have filled me with pride this year? I think that we have had an amazing start to our school year this year. So there's a couple of different accomplishments that fill me with pride. First and foremost was the Northland victory and watching all of our stands empty out onto the field in that celebration. Second of which I would say is our homecoming game victory, which was awesome to watch as well. Our homecoming dance, I would say, is a point of pride and accomplishment this year because we increased our participation by 100 students, and I felt like it was a really awesome event. And then I would say watching our marching band in the regional competition, even though we didn't make the state cut, we outperformed and outscored ourselves from a year ago. So I feel like all of those are successes from this year so far.
What's your most embarrassing moment?
Ever?
Yeah.
I'm sure I've had a lot of embarrassing moments over time. I think one of my most embarrassing moments was when I was a student teacher. It was my first day student teaching at Adams City Middle School, and they had their 7th grade science classes segregated by gender. So they had all boys in one class and all girls in the other class, and we were doing a lab activity called ramp and roll, measuring force and motion. And basically a little wooden ball would roll down a ruler into an index card, and you were supposed to do some calculations, except all you could hear were the little wooden balls bouncing all over the classroom. And so without thinking, I said, "Boys, hold on to your balls." And then I thought, oh God, did you just really say that out loud? And again, think about a room full of 12-year-old boys and all of the laughter that ensued.
What current trends are baffling you?
What current trends are baffling me? I would say from a national perspective, something that is baffling to me right now is that it seems to be okay to be racist and hateful towards one another, and I don't understand that, and that makes me really sad. So I find that to be a baffling trend that I am watching. I think another baffling trend that I see, not within our school, but within society in general, is really inappropriate, again, awful, disrespectful behavior towards one another on social media posts. And I feel like people feel like they're anonymous, so they get to say whatever, and they don't worry about the ramifications of what they're saying.
What's your most favorite song?
Well, I already struggled with this one because you guys watched me struggle with coming up with songs. I would say my two most favorite songs, At Last by Etta James or Into the Mystic by Van Morrison.
Where are you from? Like, what schools did you go to?
I am from New York originally. So I was born in New York City. I lived in an apartment with my parents in New York City about a block away from the Empire State Building until I was about 3. And then my family moved to a little town about 30 miles north of New York City called Pleasantville, New York. I went to Bedford Road Elementary School. I went to Pleasantville Middle School, Pleasantville High School. Then I went to the University of Delaware. Then I went to CU for my master's degree in teacher certification. And then I did a little bit of time at the University of Virginia in a business education leadership program.
If you could choose, what decade would you grow up in?
That's a tough one too. If I could choose, I was a kid in the 70s and 80s, and I feel like I really enjoyed my childhood, but I feel like my kindred spirit, like I should have been maybe, um, I would almost say like the 30s and 40s based on my musical taste and really liking sort of old school jazz and old school blues. So
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
everywhere. I think if I could travel anywhere in the world, my dream, which I know will probably never be my reality, but in my dream world, I'm going to learn how to sail, and I'm going to have like a 20-ish foot sailboat, and I'm just going to sail around the world and go wherever I want, whenever I want.
What's your favorite food?
Italian food, lasagna.
What's your favorite memory from when you were in high school?
Ooh, I think that's a good question. I think my favorite high school memory would be when my volleyball team, my junior year, we won the sectional championship. And so that, New York is a lot bigger than Colorado, and we have a lot more people in New York compared to Colorado. So the section championship is kind of equivalent size-wise to winning state. And so we had a great season, and we won the sectional championship, and that was a really great memory.